I think that's it.
Getting filled up.
It's getting filled up. Everybody loves this one that says I love peeing outside.
Okay. Welcome to another weekend here up at the land. Welcome to the channel. Warm weekend this weekend, 86 for a high today, and I think 80 for tomorrow. But in the woods, if you weren't working, you wouldn't notice it.
No, it's pleasant just to sit here. In our tent, it's a little warm, but it's been closed up for the week, and there's really not much of a breeze. But I think by the time we go to bed, with the temperatures dropping, it'll be fine.
And we did bring ice water, frozen bottles of ice water, or frozen, half-frozen bottles of water, and then topped them off with non-frozen water this morning, so we have ice water. I think that made sense. So we just got up here. I brought up the wagon. I have 4 pallets and half a sheet of plywood, particle board that I want to bring up at least staged over there and go in the woods over there, and that's going to be a ground blind. Now this will obviously, for those who may not be familiar in the way I would hunt with this ground blind, is it would be strictly for gun season only because of the movement in which would be needed to draw a bow back. It would be, your eye level with a deer. Other enclosed pop-up blinds, it's blacked out in the back so the movement can happen and the deer cannot identify that movement. But with this, we're looking at low cost but effective, and I'm going to put it on the other side of the property. Got to go find a spot, but I'll bring you along when that comes. But we had the pallets, and that was what we were thinking to use for the bed. But since I framed that up last week, last episode, we won't need to use that. Plus, it may have been too firm. So, what are we getting the fire going for? What are we going to have?
We're gonna have some burgers.
Just not venison, just regular hamburgers.
Yeah, regular hamburgers.
All right. I got a stove.
Should I talk about my fan?
Yeah, let's talk about the fan.
It's a mini fan. It's rechargeable. It's nice, especially if your face gets hot.
Does it move air?
It moves air. Yeah, it does. Oh, that was enough.
Try it again.
Joey needs it for his head.
Well, blow it towards me.
Can you feel that?
I'm 3 foot away and I can feel it.
Yeah, it feels
I'm
good.
1 yard away and I can feel that fan. So, it does move the air. How long does it last?
I think 5 hours.
And this is not something you purchased. You were given this as a...
Yeah.
I'm sure you can buy them.
No, yeah, you can buy them. They're all over the place.
Okay.
On the, you know where.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that's where we're at right now. I got to get the flag up from emflag.com. Got to get the fire stoked here so we can get the lunch cooked, and we'll begin our journey for this weekend here at the land. Thank you for coming along with us. Appreciate your viewership.
All right, so the burgers are getting done here, and then we have the baked beans.
I'm just holding the heat over top of the cheese to get it to melt a little bit better without burning my hand. And that will be lunch. So I've talked about it before. We bring a cooler up and we have frozen bottles, half frozen early in the week, and then this morning filled them the rest of the way up with water, and I've got very, very cold water, ice water. So as you can see, the center here is ice, and then as we drink down, we top back off. So we continue to have ice water, and that will get us through the weekend, what's in that cooler. Now, it's not every time we need something to drink, but it's nice to have that really, really cold water. So that's something in which off-grid situation, no refrigerator, no ice machine, no power. That works. I've done it I think a month ago on a really hot weekend. It worked very, very well. So something to keep in mind for your trip. All right, so here is a picture of the property. We are right here. The tree stand that I harvested all the deer out of It's approximately in this area here, and then I've got another one about right there, and then I have another one in this area. So for that blind, there was some kind of trail, logging, whatever it is, that has been growing in, and you can kind of see the remnants of it from this aerial map. So I'm here, I want to go, I've got a path here, and then that there. So I've already got a path cut in here. I want to go kind of in this area and see what I can find. Because there's property back here, there's 40 acres here, there's a good chunk of property, I think there's 30 acres over here. So I kind of want to go in this area and see what I can come up with. So that's where I'm going to go with my snips. I'm going to go in there and locate a general area of where I want. Then I'm going to take some fluorescent duct tape and wrap around a tree so I know where that is and kind of work my way out and create a trail. And then I'll go down and bring the pallets up and see about getting them over across the ATV trail here, the state trail, and then setting that up either today or tomorrow. But I want to establish a location first. This is that maybe logging road path that I was showing you on the map. Very difficult to indicate it now, especially from the drone. But I'll walk up here, show you how it's cut out, so you can kind of see. Yeah, it's opened in there compared to there. So I kind of want to go in this area over here. I mean, this is probably the worst time in order to do such, being fully grown vegetation and 78 degrees. So this trail has been used, and then it gets real thin through here. So I'll figure it out and I'll let you know when I come up with something. Okay, so I got spray paint here, just some brown stuff that I had on the shelf. Got 3 pallets here. Do not need 4. When I take and go back over there, I'll show you what my plan is. I got 3 trees behind me in that walk area, that old logging road. So I can have those as a back, and then have these 3 as a side. So let me get these painted, or see how far my paint goes. Let them dry, and then I will not need that other pallet, which that's the weakest of the 4. And the other 2 pieces of plywood, particle board and plywood, is going to be for a roof. But I don't know if that is going to be something that will be created or not. So we'll get this going, and then I've got to take and slide these pallets down one at a time, take them over, carry them up, and stack them over there, and then take one at a time over to where I need to. I'm going to need to take a shovel too, in order to kind of dig out the area that I want to put them, to get them all parallel with each other. Alright, got them painted. Just trying to knock down the brightness of it. And when I get it set up, I'm going to put, or I plan to put, like twigs and logs when it's vertical in between the gaps there. We used the whole can. It's an old can. Had problems with it dispersing correctly. That's why I wanted to just use it all up. Get rid of it. That's what happens to these old cans of paint. I don't know how old this paint is. But 5 to 10 years old, give or take. So I'm going to let this dry for a minute, get a drink, and then try to at least get them up on the other side of the trail there, and see what it would take to get them to their destination. so there's a glare here, but we talked about it being right here. Talked about kind of going up in this area. I'm going to go kind of right in here is where that tree is. I'll show you when I get there. Just to give you a reference. Here would be the tree. 3 trees. That would be the back. You come out here, go there, and go there. And then when setting in it, after I level the ground off a little bit, trim some of them down, you could see that way. You could see deers cross there. And you turn this way, you could see deer cross there. When the leaves have all dropped, you can see them in the valley there. And then behind, you're kind of elevated, so you'd still look for them, but it's not going to be it's going to be more difficult. So I need to clean this area out. I didn't bring the clips, so I'll use a shovel to trim some of this down. Those I should be able to push over. Those are dead, and kind of clean that out so I have a shooting lane. I don't think this is going to work for archery, which I knew going into it probably would not. I'd like to put a roof on it, but I don't think that's going to be really something I want to focus on. Because I could take, dead standing good stuff and connect it and have it slant back there and have a board. So I don't know. Well, a little bit at a time here. So let me get this leveled off and we'll see what we can do. You can see it from there. I'm going to say that's solid 50 yards. But as things get less green, that will blend in better. Now I'm about 20 yards. It doesn't look terrible. It's kind of what I had in mind. And then, as you saw, something's using this trail right here. So obviously it's probably going to disturb whatever there is making its path for the time being. But I took and filled in all the gaps with logs, just the debris that was on the ground around just to break up the outline. So I think the plan would be is I'm going to try to get, I got that trail camera down below the hill where the camp's at, and I think I'm going to put it possibly like right here looking that way to see if anything is around, just for the fun of it. So that's what we wanted to do. That's what we were able to accomplish. A pallet deer blind.
So these are Greek dressing marinated chicken thighs and just some potatoes.
And then I've got beans left over. And I got the same thing. Still quite warm. What was it last time you looked? About 70?
Oh, 78.
78. No wind. It's been no wind all day. Now where I was back in the woods there, Holly could hear me hammer every nail, because this is like it was late May, early May turkey season, that it was just dead common all day long. So we will enjoy supper and then head in the tent, and we will see you in the morning. Good morning. 63 degrees, I think it was in the tent last night. Very quiet, overcast morning. Had a brief 30-second shower. I'm just gathering up some scrap, tiny limbs in order to get the fire going here momentarily. Pulled some off the trail down there that they've cut off, and then just went to the woods and found some limbs that have dropped, that are dry. Getting another brief little shower here. Should not amount to a whole lot, but I don't know. So we shall see. That was it. Like 15 seconds. Just a hard little spurt, and now kind of drizzle. Showed I think there was like 15% chance of rain today. So supposed to be 84 today. We'll see how close we get to that. But gonna get breakfast going. Then I want to go down and drop a couple of trees. Whether I haul them up today or not, I can get them cut and get them staged to where I can haul them up next week, because it's supposed to be much cooler next week. And the big project was to get that deer blind put together, and that went together much quicker and much easier than I had ever thought, by carrying the product over there and snapping together. Obviously it would have been more of a challenge if I would have went 250 yards in the woods instead of 60 in the woods and 50 over to the left a little bit, based on the way I'm looking at it. But I think it'll work really well, and that's if I am not able to harvest with a firearm from one of the other stands. That can be a backup, and I think I'm going to try to put a trail camera over there this afternoon too. So thank you so much for coming along, and we'll see what the day brings us. While I'm waiting for Holly to get up, got enough cell service to catch up on some YouTube videos. Currently watching Vorius 65, a gentleman out of he's got a cabin and a few acres in Maine. Enjoy watching him. Watched Carl's off-grid cabin, where he talked about he got bit by a brown recluse spider, or fiddlehead, I think is what they also referred to. So able to watch some of that early in the morning here, before a lot of people apparently get on the network, where it's more of a challenge. I can still send text and make phone calls, but watching videos like this, I'm on one bar. If I put it over on the table there, or on the dinner table in the tent at the right angle, I can get 2 bars. So I can do a little bit more if need be, but I'm not up here to, binge videos. Up here to enjoy and do things, but it is nice that I can check in and watch this or look at that every now and then. Okay, forgot to film breakfast, but we had eggs and the dehydrated hash browns that you hydrate back up and pan fry. I went to the bottom of the hill here, halfway up the hill that we come up where we park at, and I got the trail camera and the battery system, and I'm charging that battery because I'm going to hook it up to the network and take it out and put it where the blind I built yesterday is, either over top of the blind or close to it, and see what activity may or may not be out there, just for the fun of it. Now I'm going to go down and figure out what trees I want to drop, and at least get those cut and prepped to bring up next week if I don't get that done today. Okay, so I came down here to find the trees in which I wanted to take down. All of this used to be pond. You can see way down there the receding of the pond, the water line. So I was thinking I want to take this one, but that is a good 8 inches in diameter, and it's not causing anything. It's not in the way I want to leave that, because there's a potential that I could use that for some type of building, whether another DVD tower or some kind of structure, something. It's really a very large log I want to leave. The stuff I want to burn either in the campfire or in the tent, the small stuff is fine. It's pine. What I really would like, I've got some wild cherry over there, and to get there I've got to cut a forest of thistles and raspberry bushes and goldenrod and everything else. So I'm going to leave that alone until next spring, or hunting will be this fall, so that won't be an option. But next spring, before all this vegetation comes up, get in there and drop those 2 trees down and then haul that up. But for the time being, I've got this dead standing there. This one here has got the top blown out of it, which is right here. And then these 2 here. So what I've done, I came in here with that hand sickle and kind of trimmed around where I can get in and start cutting. And then I have an escape route planned for each one of these cuts. This one here, not a big deal. I can push it over. That one there, want it to fall that way. Those 2, which are kind of leaning in different directions, want to fall this way, and kind of have them all lay on top of one another. And then I do have a dead tree there, so I'm going to cut and see what's good there, and just take, even if it's not good wood, and it's kind of that mucky, well, not mucky, but that flaky, dry stuff, it'll burn fine in the campfire. And with the family, Holly's family, coming up in a couple of weeks, probably going to go through quite a lot of wood, so it's okay to burn through that punky wood. Alright, so I'm going to let you make sure you stay out of the way. I'm going to drop these, buck these up, and have them ready to take up next week, because even though it's nicer today, it's still humid, and next week is supposed to be even cooler in the humidity level. So I just want to get these on the ground, and then I can carry them up next week. Alrighty, so quite a little pile of pine here. The one that was right there, I don't know, that's a harder wood, but the base is more solid than the top. I think it's elm or ash or something, I don't know. Anyway, a lot of wood here. As you can see, the tops here is what I'll throw in the campfire to get it started next week. Stuff like this, I leave the limbs on and throw it on the fire, or throw it on the pile, and whatever breaks off, I use for starter. So in real time, this took about 14 minutes. And I got quite a pile here to start cleaning up next week. So that'll give me a good starting point next week to, there's probably 3 4 wagonfuls there, which I'd say a solid 3 wagons. I'd be surprised if there's more than 3, which would be a good thing because I need to build up that wood pile. So that is done. I'm going to go up, take chainsaw up here, and then I'm going to get the dry off here for a moment. Get the bowl and pick some blueberries, not blueberries, some blackberries and raspberries for Holly. And then we will look at the additions to the library in the tent. So last night we kept hearing something outside the tent. This is right next to the bed, kind of like a scratching on the tent. Holly heard it again, so I came out here, and it was underneath that eave to shed the water off. That spider there. I'll put an image up so you can see the kind of size that is. I don't know what kind of spider that is, but it can stay outside. I'll stay inside. I don't know if that's a poisonous. I know there's a few poison ones, but if you know the type of spider that is, go ahead and drop it in the comments below. But boy, whenever I touched it with a stick, it went across the tent, and that was the noise that we were hearing last night. So, problem solved. All right, so very small berries, which we knew they are, which this is not a surprise compared to like conventional garden berries, but these are nice and wild blackberries and raspberries.
Ooh, they look good.
Enjoy, there's only 2 mouthfuls there.
Yeah.
Okay, off we go to hang the trail camera. I did get it activated on the network, Tacticam Network, not a sponsor, very good company though, great customer service. And you can go AT&T or Verizon based on the camera, and they got a really new camera. I've got the older models, which means like 2 years ago models, a year ago model. I've got, I'm trying to walk down the hill and talk to you. Their newest one, it has the SIM card AT&T and Verizon built in, so you don't have to fuss with finding the network that's best for you. It will actually bounce it back and forth. Whichever network is stronger, it will automatically sense it, and then throw it to that network on the camera automatically, which would be mighty handy. So you don't have to scan QR codes and find a signal in order to do it on your cell phone. So when we get back there, I'll show you what I got. There's a doe down there. I kicked the doe up just below where the blind is at. It was right in that area there. I don't know if you could see it being zoomed in or not, but I think it's walked off. So, deer in the area, that's good. So I've got it set up there. On the camera itself, it shows strong signal. So I'm going to see what comes through here. Not much I can do if it's not, but it's overlooking that area where that deer I spooked coming in here was. So it's a good sign. I'm sure that there's activity possibly that way, but I'm more focused on that way. And we'll see how this little blind, I mean, it's not going to be used for September, October, 2.5, almost 3 months. So walk in front of it again, and then I'm going to be out of here. What we got going on here?
I added stickers to our sticker board.
Which ones did you add?
This one, the Primos.
Stenny's.
It's a older classic bar pub in Milwaukee. I love belly dance, Love her but leave her wild. I think that's it.
Getting filled up.
It's getting filled up. Everybody loves this one that says I love peeing outside.
Okay. Well, we can certainly accept anybody's stickers that they want to send. Get a hold of us.
Yeah, get a hold of us.
So additions to add to the library, went to a thrift store and found these. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 books. Outdoor Life Deer Hunting Yearbook. Not familiar with this at all. You can see originally $5.99, clearance for 99 cents a book. 99 cents a book, couldn't pass it up. It's got a lot of information. Some of it is kind of outdated, you know, certain tree stands or clothing, but the general information is really neat. And some's got elk and mule deer, and in the back about reloading. Some of them's got recipes in them. So I did do a quick image search and found that there's, I think, 11 or 12 or something like that. 83 to, I think, whatever it is. They started in 83, 12 editions, and like on eBay, they're asking $229 for. I don't know. That's what they're asking. Don't know if it, you know. But this is a unique little set. I'm going to keep here at the tent, and then end of the year, I'll take them back home when we take the tent down. But look at your thrift stores for DVDs and hunting DVDs and books. You're going to find a very unique and a lot of stuff for a very low price.
So we're having our lunch here, some Spam and veggies, and I made a little Spam sandwich.
The pretzel buns are good.
The pretzel buns are good. And then we're going to pack up and go home.
Well, that will do it. Appreciate you coming along for another weekend here up at the land. If you made it this far, let's put blind in the comments, B-L-I-N-D, since we did build a deer blind this weekend on one of the hottest days of the year so far. Probably not the best choice, but it got completed, and we can mark that off the to-do list. So until next time, we'll see you then.